Hey, Trav. Come on, gentlemen.
Take care of that banner for me, will you? I okay, good. Well, you just get those later. Well, so far off, it wasn't even funny.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 3 on our agenda, welcome, it's public comment. Comments from the floor, they're agenda items only. 2 minutes per speaker, right after you tell us who's speaking, and 10 minutes. Anybody have anything?
Good evening, my name's Matt Goodnight. Last month in the meeting, as you were beginning to talk about the possibility of changing the monthly meeting time and day, luckily last month you had the 3 Republican candidates for the council, and as we have finished our primary, now myself and Greg Abs, hopefully after the general election, at least one of us will be sitting out there. So when you get to that agenda item, if you wouldn't mind, we, obviously we're going to be impacted by that decision. And unfortunately, Greg's not here, but I've texted him to get his feedback as well. So thanks.
You have an input?
Yes, if you'd like to hear it now, that's fine. Last month, all 3 of us agreed that we would prefer that it maintain an evening meeting, and that's mainly for the public. Not everyone has the availability to break away during the daytime or business hours. Not all people are lucky enough to be retired and still have the energy to come to meetings. So we had hoped that you would consider our input, that it stay as an evening meeting, so hopefully the public can attend and state their feelings. So thank you.
One of the factors here is look around you and see how many people come to the council meeting.
Yeah.
We have very few people who attend the council meeting unless it's something in their own backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So, we hear what you're saying, and we've talked about that before, so
Yeah.
I'll just say that and let the discussion go.
Yeah. And I wonder if Dave has any, do we know as far as streaming wise, how many people stream live versus?
Unfortunately, I can't see.
Oh, okay.
I can see how many people review it after the fact.
Yeah.
The live streaming, I don't have the data
Okay.
available. So.
That was probably, something other than being in person watching it live.
Sure.
So, okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes. I'm new in the community, but I'm Mike Fleming, and I appreciate your thoughts. We fought this from a little town where I'm from in Jasper County, and we're still fighting it down there. So I appreciate that because I can't just have the pleasure of taking off work and do it. But I was actually driving by today, and I thought, there's a meeting tonight. This is awesome. So I pulled in. Here I am. Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to number 4, approval of minutes for the special meeting, which was March 30th, 2026.
I've moved to approve the minutes for special meeting March 30th.
We have a motion and an approval. I mean, a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Approval of minutes for did you get see everything? You abstained on the 30th. approve minutes for April 21st, 2026 meeting.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, we have an approval in a second. All in favor of approving the April 21, aye.
I think.
And now we're gonna move on to claims.
That should be.
It's different. Back to you, Richard.
Somebody give me the claim numbers, I approve it. It's on your computer, Paul.
Yeah,
that's the
problem. My voice.
Okay, good.
Huh? Here? The numbers? 424.
424,
Yeah.
looks like through, 541.
Okay. I'll second.
Who did the motion then?
Bill, I got
Bill,
it.
and a second with Paul? Yeah.
I think so.
All in favor of approving the claims docket?
You're in trouble tonight.
Our first time.
This is our first night with you.
Damn thing.
Where's the court?
Okay, so Bill made a motion, Paul seconded, claims 424 to 541. All in favor?
Aye.
It's me, sorry. Maybe I should have it just a second.
I have it.
Okay, we're ready for ordinance 2026-05. The bond introduction, David.
So this is the bond that, be considering to, finance the St. Street Water Project. Jacob McClellan's on, joining us from Mo's. He's the, attorney that will be answering your questions. Jim Higgins was going to try to join us, but he's still up at another meeting, so he may pop in. But, if you have any questions, Jacob is here for you.
So you want me to go through it? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. Jacob was both with me, and we're serving as bond counsel. I'm here filling in for my colleague, and I think he's probably the one that attends your meetings, most of the time, but, the ordinance before you, includes parameters, provided by the London Witty Group. It authorizes, revenue bonds, for the project in an amount of not to exceed $5,575,000. And SRF, I know it's anticipated that they will buy these bonds. They have reviewed and signed off on the form of ordinance. The ordinance, authorizes, the bonds to be sold at a rate of not to exceed 7%. Of course, these are all parameters. These are all not to exceed amounts, so you would expect it to be lower than 7%. But it authorizes the discount of not less than 99.5%. It includes the pledge of net revenues for the payment of the bonds. It includes a 10-year, optional redemption provision if the bonds are sold to SRF. There's flexibility in case something were to happen with SRF for you all to sell to a bank or an underwriter. And, the redemption in that case would be, 8 years. The ordinance further authorizes the appointment of a paying agent, the sale of bonds in a negotiated competitive sale. Again, I think you guys anticipate you'll sell to SRF. And the ordinance creates all of the, funds and accounts necessary for the bonds. It authorizes the continuing disclosure agreement if needed, and it authorizes the form of assistance agreement. That's the agreement, that SRF, would have us sign, and it would outline, that they're purchasing the bonds, and if they provide any other, SRF, to finalize closing documents and work toward a pre-closing late in the month of July, with closing around August 12th and funds would be available then around August 12th. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
The bonds, if they were not to go to SRF and they were to go to the market, what was it? Are they just tax deferred for Indiana, or are they tax deferred federally and state?
They'd be tax deferred federally and state, so they'd be tax exempt.
Would I have a conflict of interest if I bought part of them?
Well, since we'll go to SRF,
I mean, I wouldn't mind having 7%.
yeah, if you were to buy some of them, I don't know that you have a conflict of interest. I mean, we can explore that, but I don't think so.
Okay. No, or when do they pay out? When do they pay out?
I'm sorry.
When do they pay?
When do they
The
pay?
two- what's the two
SRF will set the timing of the amortization, and it will have to be reviewed by you all and one of the legislators. I think, and David, maybe you know better than me, but I think you guys are anticipating probably around a 15-year payback. And I think the ordinance, SRF typically has you authorized not to exceed 35 years. I don't think we'll get anywhere close to that, but I believe we're looking around 15.
Okay, but the 7%, what is the 7% paid out to the owners?
The 7% is the not to exceed interest rate. I don't know where SRF will be, but I suspect it'll be a lot less than 7%. That's something that Jim would probably be able to better answer, but.
Okay. No, when I buy bonds, they're either zero coupon or they tell me when I'm gonna get my interest payment.
Yeah, you get your interest payment January 1 or July 1, and it would commence.
Every year?
Yeah, every year, but there might be a little bit of a delay to let you get the project started, see what's included in here. It'd be the first January or July following delivery of the bond. So, and, sometimes it's interest only for a little bit, before principal starts to pay for a couple payments.
Better to ask on the way?
They should have, Jim should have a good idea of
Okay.
kind of the amortization you'd be looking at, yeah.
All right, thank you.
I mean, the reason I asked the question is just there's a lot of people with means in our community, and it would be nice to have them be aware of these bonds, if the bonds are available, so that they can invest into our community, not so much for Larry, but for other folks.
Yeah, I suspect SRF will have a way better rate. It's a kind of a subsidized rate that it'll be better than anything a bank could offer or an underwriter could offer. But, yes, certainly understand.
And then on a bond, is there any sort of, are we free to pay it off at will once it goes to the?
That'll be, so if you sell to SRF, it'll be a 10-year no call. So that means you have to wait 10 years to pay it off. If something came up and you needed to pay it off earlier, you could reach out to them and try to make a deal with them to have them allow you to pay off a little bit early. But it's typical, 7 to 10 years, for something a little bit longer than 10 years now.
Any other questions? Anybody else? No? Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anything to add to any of that?
You guys both introduce, or you just?
They just moved to introduce, somebody introduces it and then it sits and they'll vote on it next meeting, so. You moved to introduce it, so,
I'll move that.
there you go.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Yeah. And you don't have to have a vote, you're just moving it.
Okay.
And anybody can introduce it. Good.
All right, you know, go ahead and drop. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Are we done?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna move on to number 8, which is ordinance 2026-06 for purchasing procedures. And this is an introduction. David?
Yeah, so, after we reviewed all the ordinances exhaustively, we found another one that needed some attention, and so I've been talking with Jay about the error that I identified. So basically, our current ordinances for purchasing only cover, ordinance 245 covers how to proceed with purchases under 15,000, and 248 covers purchases between $50,000 and $150,000. So we currently don't have anything that addresses the gap between them. State law says that it's basically based on whatever the procedures of the town are, and we currently don't have one. So we've been defaulting kind of the 248 in that gap, but I'd just like to, this ordinance kind of introduces a way to codify this as a procedure, so the staff knows how to proceed, when they're, trying to do purchases between those two monetary amounts. So basically Jay has written it, he can explain if you'd like, kind of just removes the two that exist and grabs those amounts into the new ordinance.
And we have no explanation as to why that gap existed in the code. Yeah, we just don't know.
Okay, so we had a conversation in the past, not too far in the past, about Mark had some situations where he had things that were more than 15,000 that he had to purchase. Pumps or the stations or whatever that stuff was, and we said that you can do that with Dave's approval. And then it comes to the council for final approval in an emergency situation. I didn't see that documented in what you had given us.
I guess. So you had approved, myself to make any approvals for purchases up to $15,000. Without council approval, is that what you're referring to?
No,
Okay.
we had talked about it one time, me and Cindy and I talked about this over the weekend, and she recollected the same thing, where Mark had a big purchase he had to make, he could do that with your approval. But I didn't see that.
I don't recall that. I apologize, I don't recall that.
You remember, Cindy?
I thought it did.
Yeah.
I don't recall that one.
But it would be an ordinance, right?
It would be in the ordinance, but where is it? I mean, I'm not seeing that, and I haven't seen the whole ordinance be modified. You know, in the past, we did 15,000, and then anything else had to be 3 bids, and it had to be pre-approved by the council. I mean, where did that go? And then the council would approve it. The exception was the emergency, like public works, and, you know, I mean, if the lift station went out and something had to happen, and Mark had to make an emergency purchase, we had said that with Dave's approval could happen. Where is that written down?
Yeah, I apologize, I do not recall that conversation. I have to look back at that.
So,
Time when it might have happened, but that would be the only place that I'm aware of it would be even spoken of, because I'm not aware of an ordinance that was ever passed that addressed this until now.
Wonder if it was just something else.
It may have been a conversation, but there was not, I'm not aware of an ordinance that was ever drafted or passed.
I'm sure we need direction on that, but I didn't see that in this piece of the ordinance, but I didn't see the whole ordinance either. Government provides this execution. I would suggest we leave it the same, all the way through, and the 3 bids and council approval. And that's how we've always done it. I don't know how the ordinance ever got to this. And then, I mean, if we have contracts and stuff, of course, you're allowed to administer those contracts.
I thought we always, anything over 50, you had to put out for bid, but I guess I don't remember ever 15 to 50.
Right,
So is what we do with that.
we have been defaulting to doing the same process as 50 to 150, which is obtaining 3 quotes. They're not final bids, they're obtaining 3 quotes, and that's what we would bring council for approval.
Yeah, I just say we keep on doing it, before 15, we get 3 quotes, and then it counts for approval, make it the emergency.
Okay, so to fix the gap, which if the gap was the town code had nothing about the area between 15 and 50.
Yeah, I would just get rid of all that, and
15, and then there's 50 to 150. There's state law that we're mirroring for those ordinances. And the state law also says the gap between those is based on council policy.
Yeah, I would just say we keep the same thing when we always done.
15,000 anymore is pretty small.
Yeah, that gets better.
Yeah, you get 3 bids on it.
Well, under 15 is not required. Anything 50 and above requires
No,
3.
15 to 50.
Yeah, there's no language. That's what we're addressing. There's no language for that gap.
What would you propose, I mean, 2-45 of this ordinance applies to the under 50. How would you go about dealing with that in the future? I mean, you've now got a $40,000
Well,
ish.
yeah, I mean, if you would adopt this, then it spelled out that, you would obtain 3 quotes, and if, it's above a certain limit, then it comes to the county.
None of it's under 50, right?
Well, I think, under this ordinance, I think, David, you're suggesting that this seems to make sense to you.
Mhm.
That if it's under 50, you don't have to get quotes. It's between 50 and 150, you have to get 3 quotes. You could change that certainly, like David said. You could say, okay, if it's under 15, you could, the purchasing agent can do it without any quotes. And then between 15 and 150, you would always get a quote. You can say that. The problem with code, of course, it doesn't say anything about that 15 to 50 gap.
I don't think there's any problem with the 15 to 50 as long as the council approves it.
Pre-approved it. Because, 50 is a car. You know, 50 is a car. 150 is 3 cars, maybe 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah. As long as the council pre-approves it, right? Yeah. And so, are you saying that if it's between 15 and 50, we don't need 3 quotes, but it still requires council approval, and anything over that requires 3 quotes and council approval? I would not oppose that.
I thought that's what this was.
Essentially, that's what it's trying to say.
It doesn't say council approval on this anywhere.
Well, by default, it's council approval.
I
But you can add that language. But by
Yeah, I would
default,
add it.
council approval.
I would definitely add it. So the only difference is between 15 and 50, we won't require 3 quotes, but anything over
Make
15
it
still
quicker to
requires.
do it.
Anything over 15 still requires council approval, prior approval. Except for, we talked about, Cindy and I talked about, she remembered the same thing, we said, if Mark's got an emergency, with Dave's approval, you can buy a new pump or a new whatever to keep our utilities running.
Does that only speak to emergencies?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not emergency, this is just general.
Yeah, but, I know the school part that was about the emergency.
I don't
Do
recall.
we have an ordinance about the emergency?
I think you probably just did that when it came up. I think you probably approved it after it happened and said, okay, there was an emergency.
Well, I mean, I think in general,
No, no.
there's information given and it's an emergency and it's approved by consensus. But I don't know if we should have that as, an ordinance or.
Well, I know we talked about it, and I thought that it was gonna be put into an ordinance of some sort, so that you guys didn't have to come to us for that consensus and try and hope 3 people are available and all those different types of things.
We can add that to this if you like, if you want something like that.
I think we should, we talked about it, some of us already thought we did it, but it didn't show up here. So, as long as we're talking about that, unless somebody opposes that, I think we should add it to the ordinance.
What is an emergency?
Well, Mark's had situations where.
I understand
Yeah.
water and sewer and how that.
Well, knock on wood, I haven't had to use that one.
But it's all, it's not the things where it's urgent and we don't have a meeting for 3 weeks, but we need council approval.
Well, I get it in general, I just, I can see emergencies going from here to right here.
Yeah, so what's your recommendation to regulate that?
How does the state look that day? Emergency.
Well, that was the best thing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm asking about what the state says.
State law allows you to make purchases in an emergency without soliciting bids.
Yeah, state board of accounts is not gonna come down. Okay, without soliciting bids, but how about council approval, that piece of it? Because in the past, you guys would send stuff out, saying, well, we have a consensus, you guys approve this,
add that language.
Well, I don't know that any of us in the past, when you guys sent out today, we have this thing going on, didn't think it was the ordinance.
Yeah.
Right, but you get it, I mean, just an email does not constitute a use.
That's correct. That's correct. And so if it's in the ordinance, they don't have to do that. And you just hope everybody votes on it when it comes around, you know?
Well, hopefully if they approve it.
So we're saying 15 to 50, there's no quote. We don't need two quotes, but they need
Right.
council approval.
But we need council approval.
I want one quote,
Okay, yeah, one quote.
minimum of one quote.
And then 50 and over.
That's state based. Controlled by them.
Yes, correct. Three quotes.
Three quotes.
And anything
That's
over,
three quotes.
anything over 15 requires council approval. I would just, I'm not 100% sure how to define what an emergency is called. But I mean,
I don't either.
I mean, we have, they've exercised pretty good discretion thus far.
No, I'm not questioning it, I'm just saying,
But you are.
that I'm wondering.
I try and get 3 quotes on everything. The prices for some of our services have varied so wildly that if I hadn't have gone out to get the second and third quote, we would pay double.
Well, I think that's important, to make sure everybody understands, like, this, we don't have to, that's not free.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that they get three quotes if they can. The taxes need to be there.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to write that in, Jay, but I would add that.
I'm making myself notes here, make sure I can figure it out, so, yeah.
You got 30 days.
I mean, does everybody kind of agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay has direction.
I'll give it my best shot and circulate it, we'll see how it goes.
So we'll take this up at another time.
Well, Jay's gonna work at it, and this is an introduction, right, Steve?
That's what it says.
Yeah.
First time around to talk about it. We'll move on to number 9, which says land donation to library.
So this refers to this last little piece of ground that, that's the time that Olin Creek property that you already donated to the library. They were able to acquire the other 2 pieces of land to the east of the one we own. It's just a little buffer of land up to the creek. So they drafted a deed, that the town would donate that remaining little piece of ground to the library. There's no utility losses to us. We have no need of the ground, other than we have to maintain it if we.
Yeah, we're mowing it, right?
So,
We mow it.
I make a motion to, forward that.
I'll second the library.
I've got a question. So, my understanding that when we donated the other property to the library, that there was some language that said that there was a time box on how long that donation was good for, and if nothing was done, is that how that was drafted?
That was how the original was drafted, yeah.
Can you hear that in this as well?
We can.
That would be my motion.
David, you said the original was the final.
Yeah, that motion is.
Was that in the final?
That was in, there was language in that regarding the deed that you ended up transferring the first chunk of land to them.
So that was in the final.
Yeah,
The clawback, what was that time period?
5 years. Was it? I don't remember.
If they had ground in 5 years.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think when Nate's asking, we do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, with adding that same language.
Sure, say for the fact, let's say, let's be real cynical on behalf of the council, okay, you got a piece of land that you don't care about right now. It's payment a buck for you to have to mow it. If you leave it like it is, you have to claw back the other provisions, then you're gonna leave them stuck with a little piece of land that you have to deal with.
No, I don't think they're building.
They should,
I think it's just that little corner there.
Oh, yeah,
They're not building on it.
no, it's a parking lot. Yeah, it's part of the parking lot.
So how do we integrate Nate's idea into this law?
Oh, I say, oh,
Sounds like everybody agrees.
oh, yeah, we can change, all I'm telling you is that if you had to claw back the big parcel, if you just give the deed the way it is, you're off for two.
But it would be a problem if we got the other parcel.
Yeah, we got the other side.
Yeah,
They still not.
you haven't been using that one for much either, so.
Well, because there were plans.
Yeah, okay, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I would, but I wonder if I would put it in the state with the water tower. So not that long, but it won't be here anyway, yeah.
Then that's not an issue for, that's an issue for them to worry about the mining parcels. They may not want to link those two. I don't know anything about the building, so I can't answer for them.
But yeah, I think that if we do the debt, that the 5 years from the first one, we're in sync with that same 5 years, we follow everything after one time.
Yeah, I think what I would do in this one is simply refer to that deed and say, that it can be clawed back if the previous one, if the clawback provision of the previous one is exercised by the council.
Okay, so procedurally, Paul made a motion, although Cindy didn't ask for a motion, so do we need to do anything, or we wait for Cindy to call for it?
Yeah, we made a motion and have a second.
It's seconded. Do you have somebody who wishes to move to table that motion?
She never called for a motion.
No, but it doesn't matter. It was made. Yeah.
So,
We table that motion.
You can move the table if you'd like, and somebody else can second it, and you can all vote on that, and then it'll be outstanding sitting there to deal with it next month.
Because
We can do
not
it.
done yet.
We can undo it and do this now, though, right? In a way
I think Bill made a motion to table, and I'll make a second.
make a new motion.
Yeah.
We tabled.
But if you move the table, that will give you time to prepare the deed. And you, because really, the motion's gonna be the same, it's just the form of the deed.
I'm following.
Yeah, okay.
Bill made a motion, I mean, it's a table.
So we have a motion
Motion
to
and a second.
take,
And then you
second,
move to table that motion.
and I move to table that
Somebody
motion.
somebody seconded that motion. And now you have a vote on tabling the previous motion.
And take a vote, tabling the previous motion.
There you go. Everybody's voting.
I'll make sure we're doing it right.
Number 10. We have a land, Pharaoh vacation, ROW.
Yeah, you can disregard that when they withdraw their motion.
Okay.
This is,
10 is out.
10 is out.
So we're ready for the Commonwealth engineer.
No, we're at 11.
11, change the meeting. I was trying to skip it.
Greg, take it now.
Why is those coming up? I thought we like hammered this like a year
You're-
ago.
We don't wanna change.
A year ago, it was brought up,
Right.
and we had one ex-councilman, and they pulled ahead, because what Matt has said, older people or people who work, could not possibly get to the meetings if we held it in the morning or another time. So, I guess we kind of backed down from it.
Yeah, cause we were all about coming earlier.
Earlier, yeah, we wanted to use 6 instead of 7, I believe. And,
And-
we brought this one up.
I brought it up when we had a meeting that was till 9 p.m.
I think you did.
And people were falling asleep.
Yeah.
And you clicked on.
I think you were watching Wheel of Fortune.
What's the difference?
I was on my phone so long, and heating up, I had
Okay, well, I guess we're off to 12 then.
We didn't think it is.
Is that what you wanted to do?
I think it makes sense to move this, but that's
When did you wanna move it to?
10.
No, 6, but he.
earlier. 6, 5.
You know, the thing is, man, if it changes, when you guys are in charge, you can change back.
Well,
And I don't know, Greg will still be at work.
I have no problem with
Yes.
Well, it's gonna be decided, but, in
Oh,
order
that's
to do
right.
that, I have things that I have to move. Because normally we come from Cromwell to here, and Cromwell originally moved their meeting up a little bit, so we could make sure to get here on time. So I have to work out the logistics of that.
I don't think we have to decide it tonight. I think that it makes a lot of sense to do maybe that takes an hour or two. But I get the concerns of people, like, what's a good time? So I told somebody, I said, if you really wanted to try and hit the community, you'd do 12 different times throughout the year and give everybody a chance to attend the meeting. Because you're not gonna please everybody, not everybody's schedule. You're
People work second shift,
second
they
shift,
can never
third
come.
shift, you're never gonna be able to make it unless you do it in the morning, you know? So, reality is, you try to time that works best for people, and quite honestly, for a lot of people, that have to be early evenings of that time. Because of obligation, family obligations, and sporting, kids in sport, and all kinds of stuff, so.
Well, in reality, what I said earlier tonight, there's so low attendance
Mm-hmm.
of our voting public at the council that, I can't see.
Right, which suggests that maybe we don't have the right time because we don't have a lot of people showing up to be involved. So,
I don't think anyone cares unless it's against their.
Their own backyard.
We're not gonna move on that tonight. Yes.
Let's go to the next.
Go to Commonwealth Engineering.
So, Chris Harrison with Commonwealth Engineers. So, tonight, Robin Matthews is with me as well. We have a lot going on in the community right now. I want to talk about the water project and the other projects going on. Robin will speak about the, road project and also the, parking lot project. The water project is moving along, well. Final design is, being prepared, the IDIN, and, final easement documents being obtained. So everything's moving forward on that end accordingly. The North, RV Park utility extension is, under review at this point in time. We are getting bids for the filter media at the water plant as well. With that, we do have one other action item that has come up here that I want to talk to the council about, and that is the wellhead protection plan, which is due, has council seen the task order for the wellhead protection? I put it on the.
It was uploaded on there.
Okay,
For the RV park, under review. I thought that was done.
it's reviewing any other forthcoming submittals at this point in time. So we're waiting for any submittals that are being brought forward for the project to be reviewed. Which may not be anything, Larry, don't know.
Are you talking about in?
Typically a submittal is, some type of, material for the project or any other pertinent information that may come up that was, unforeseen. So that's where we're at this point with the RV project.
Waiting to see if there is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, they're online.
Right. So the, wellhead protection, task order, every 5 years, the wellhead protection plan needs to be updated and revised. And this is a requirement, at the state level. What we'll provide is, coordination with IDEM, submittal of the information to IDEM after the, wellhead protection plan is being completed. If many of you are not familiar with what the wellhead protection plan does, it looks at all of the source of contamination in existing wells around the area and sees what type of impact that could have and identify a delineation period. And typically that's a 1 year or a 10-year delineation period. If there is any source of contamination, how long it will take to get to that well, and helps the town mitigate. Now, it's one of those situations that, most of the time, it comes up pretty clean, but you do need to update and amend those lists accordingly, and that 5-year mark is where we're at. This task order is for a not to exceed 10,000, and, with that, it's based on an hourly rate.
So Chris, when you're talking about that, just so I understand from a technical aspect, you're saying you can get to the wellhead, get to it from where it's source water?
Yeah, so any type of contamination that, potentially might be here and its line of travel to that wellhead. And you remember, when you're pulling water out of the ground, what you're doing is you're mining that water.
Sure.
And that pools from the aquifer around the area. So, 50 years ago, there may have been a gas station here. So that's probably on that original list. And it may have had some type of contamination, but we don't know that.
But what the state requires is that list be updated every 5 years, or at least reviewed, to make sure that, there hasn't been any changes, and there hasn't been any other source of contamination that may impact the community as a whole.
So, Chris, I mean, we're in the Great Lakes aquifer we draw from, right?
Yes.
That's huge. I mean, how far out do we go for wellhead protection?
So typically what you're looking at is a 10-year, delineation period of how far that water can travel within a 10 period. And that would be mapped out within this wellhead protection plan.
I mean, we're underneath the Great Lakes and over into Ohio and lots of farm
Sure,
fields.
sure. But typically up in this area, there's different veins with water associated with it. Now, you may be in a specific aquifer, but there's portions of the aquifers that are being impacted. And it all depends on how much water you're drawing out, and it draws in potential contaminants into those areas. And those contaminants need to be identified.
I mean,
If there's any.
are we going out 50 miles or how far out are we going?
All depends on the aquifer. When I was in Warsaw, it was a couple miles around the well fields, and I'm sure that's the same case here.
It's the same here.
Yeah.
It's 2 miles.
2 miles.
2 miles.
Yeah.
So, so within that, you're taking a look at all of the wells that are on, that you can see on the DNR.
They look at the DNR site, look at what, wells and, who's pulling from, who's mining water out of those areas. It could be irrigation, it could be local, it could be residential wells in the area, that kind of source. But it also looks at the past history of what's happened in the community. The past businesses, is there any type of contamination that's been identified, that type of, is there new businesses that are here, and would they have a potential source of contamination? And we document that accordingly.
So in your experience, in your experience, have you ever had a situation where you found contamination in a wellhead for a municipality that you serve that was not on one of your reports that you had to try and figure out where?
I have not,
contamination was?
but the reason this is here is because it has happened.
Sure.
So it's my experience, I have never had any experience with a contamination that impacted the well. I can't say that. Down in Warsaw, we did have some vinyl chloride issues, and we had to mitigate that out accordingly. And that was in that well health protection plan.
So I usually find that from like illegal dumping or something like that?
Yeah, old landfills are a good source of contamination, and mitigation, have to mitigate how far that water can travel accordingly. In that situation, that's what happened. So what happened back in the 50s was impacting that old silver treatment plant, which has been retired now. But with that, that's the reason why we had that wellhead protection, to identify that source and try to mitigate it as best you can. So with that, if the town is willing to approve this, we can take immediate action and move forward with it and have it completed and submitted to IDM by July 1st.
I'll move to approve task order number 2026-05. Not to exceed 4 pages.
What was the cost?
10,000.
Not to exceed 10,000.
I'll second that.
It's an hourly rate, not to exceed.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second on approving, all in favor?
I'll second.
You voted, you said aye, right?
I did. Aye.
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 I would like to stress though, or point out that, we do extensive sampling from all 3 wells, and we found no contamination of any kind. This is just a standard operational procedure, pretty much nationwide, that, if there is a future problem, you catch it early. So, it's not a problem we have. We have found no contamination of any kind in our, we have a beautiful aquifer. But it's studied like this that keep it that way.
Yeah. I drive around and I see wellhead protection signs on roads and stuff like that. Are we posting those kind of things as
Well,
well? Are people inside?
Coming into town, all around within 200 feet of our wells,
Are industries and farms and things aware of this? I mean, do they have different restrictions and things that they have to abide by?
I talked with Mr. Doty, he's well aware of the farming practices next to the well field, very cognizant of that.
Yeah.
And Larry, I look at, you can have a drinking water plant, but if you don't have a clean source of supply, meaning your well, I treat them like a baby, okay? So you have to maintain them, you have to protect them accordingly. Because frankly, you don't have the wells, the town's in a big hurt as far as.
No, I was just wondering, if we have any regulatory authority, or is it just volunteer if you're a farmer and you're in that well?
You have to report it. There's an annual report, right?
There's an annual report.
Is it a farmer or an
Yeah,
industry?
yeah.
Okay.
They call it a DNR, drawdown report on how much water you're pulling out of the ground accordingly.
Well, not only that, but you just have a commercial structure that services over 15 people daily or something like that. There's an IDEM report that they have to file.
As far as, having a proper license and making sure you do the vaccine test and all that. Now, that's a little bit different on that end. This is specifically for, the wellhead protection, to identify any source of contamination that may or may not be occurring in the area. And in the past, you've had clean records, so it's more likely it's just a process at this point in time to be compliant.
But nitrogen in hydrous ammonia on the field, that gets reported, doesn't get reported, doesn't matter in the well protection area?
Absolutely, it does, yes.
That gets reported?
As far as how much they put in and.
Yeah.
Yes, Larry, I can't go in as far as in depth of what that looks like right now, but once we look at the original study and then follow back with the comments on these. Yeah.
I'm going to, I see the science,
Sure.
and I know we do this, and I'm trying to figure out what we're really doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have another action item here, the indemnification agreement, and I think Robin, you want to speak on that?
I will try. This is from, Jeremy, called me about this. He's working on a project on the northwest side of town, water project. And we surveyed it, located property corners, done all the deeds, collected deeds, but, we're unable to accurately identify the right of way on these road segments that the water lines could be going up the middle. And so we're just thinking, Jeremy reached out to Jay to have him assist him with this indemnification agreement to indemnify us, in case there were to be any subsequent claims from property owners.
Yeah, they asked us, to prepare this for your consideration. I know it would surprise you to know that over the history of any municipality, town governments are not 100% successful in making sure that the paperwork regarding various streets or rights of way reflects what's really there. And they're concerned, Commonwealth's concerned that the areas they're doing this work don't have the paperwork in terms of platted roadways, or dedicated roadways to, reflect, where we're actually gonna be doing the work. State government gave us a nice solution to that. And the state government solution is if you've had a street there over 20 years, the street is the street. And even if you did not, on paper, dedicate that particular ground toward a street, town puts a street out there, then it's been there 20 years, that's good enough. And so what Commonwealth wants to do is to have the town indemnify from them from any litigation that might exist, basically on that issue. And I mean, it makes sense to me in the sense that if there is any issue with the dedicated right of way, they're gonna be doing this in streets that are already there. And so if there is any error on that, which I don't anticipate there being any problem, because again, the streets they're working on, I know they've been there more than 20 years. But if there is an error on that, they want to make sure that the town is covering any kind of cost for that happen.
So so if you've got a roadway that's there for 21 years, there's a certain right of way that is beyond the surface that falls within that area as well?
It's really gonna be whatever the town has been working on and developing. If you had asphalt and you had stone on either side, that's gonna be, the stretch of that, the asphalt and stone is gonna be the length of that. Now, they're gonna be doing things that are right running down the middle of the street, as I understand it. And so it's gonna be under asphalt, under things that have been improved.
But from just, again, a knowledge perspective.
Yeah.
So if you go asphalt shoulder, there's no 5-foot easement or 10-foot easement beyond that, that is considered the right of way.
There is typically, when a street has been properly platted.
Right, so I'm
Yeah.
asking you in cases where it's not.
Don't believe so, but I've never had to litigate it, because when you've had something that, has been there more than 20 years, you just don't have people litigating that question because of the state statute.
So they just assume that they don't have it.
It's there, you know?
I mean, I've been told recently that there's some sections of 13 around here where the state doesn't have right of ways where they say they have right of ways. Shocking.
Yeah, and that happens to, you know, a town that's been around 150 to 200 years, you're always going to have some issues like that. And the idea of the state statute was to say, you know, if the town's had a street somewhere, that's, for 20 years, they got the right of way based upon what they've been using for 20 years.
Yeah, my only concern is we're not going right down the middle of the road and you go beside it, how much space we have.
Mhm. Yeah, well, at that point, if you were concerned about that, then what you would do is enter into a bargaining agreement with the adjoining landowner to buy their property. Yeah.
And have the right.
And so I guess I want to tell you, when that issue comes up, that becomes a concern that you make a decision on at that time.
Any other questions?
Wellhead protection, no. That's quite a conversation.
Indemnification. So,
You would need a motion to approve the indemnification agreement with Commonwealth.
I'll make that motion.
we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Between the town and Commonwealth for the indemnification agreement, all in favor? Big word.
I'm Robin Matthews. I'll go over the road project status and parking lot that we're under contract for. And then I also have a task order at the end for your review and approval that I'll go over. We've got a few road projects for 2025. CCNG is wrapping up. There's still some spring work to be finished up, but that's largely complete. The 2026 CCNG project got pushed to 2027, which left us with wanting to get a few things done around town this year. And so I have a task order for you tonight for the 2026 paving project. We're going to move the Kern Road project to this year, get that done. And then there's some alleys, and then the resurface of the public works garage area, parking areas.
Do you have a map of that?
I don't, of the public, oh, actually, I do. Hold on.
The road?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I don't have it ready, but I do have it here.
This is the project for this year?
Yes, for this year. It is Kern Road, as I mentioned, from south of Wallace Elementary School to the town limits. There's a short alleys near Main Street and Hollywood Way, alleys between Baltimore Street and Chicago Street, State Road, and then, the public works property, including all the parking areas and driveways.
Do you have the same one for next year?
Yes, so the 2027 CCMG, we're also working on that. So there's different alleys, that is.
Can you send us some by email?
Sure.
And then 2027 as well?
Yeah, we have preliminary plans for both of these projects.
I don't know if you have the email, the journal.
Your email address, if you have a business card?
No.
Since we weren't ready to CCMG for 2026, I focused on non-grant eligible projects, like public works that's been falling apart for many years, was never finished after the wastewater project. The alleys, which are non-eligible, but Kern Road is the only eligible road that we're doing this year because it's so bad. We didn't want to push it off again.
Are those on this map as well?
I've got the maps up.
So Mark, what would be the plan for that Kern Road? Is it sufficient to be able to just go in and grind it out and relay the asphalt, or is there base work that needs to be done?
Say that one more time.
What's the subsurface of that road? I mean, it is pretty rough.
It is pretty rough. Jeremy Hardy came up with the idea of pulverizing that pavement in place and using it as a base and compact it. Because right now it's about 2 inches of asphalt on sand. Whoever laid Kern Road saved a lot of money.
That was never gonna hold up very well, unfortunately.
So when you do get a pothole, everything around it is now unsupported and it starts to shift and it gets worse quickly.
It was just a farm road at one time.
Yeah, somebody saved a lot of money when they put in Kern Road. And then on the curve there, I've always seen that as a safety hazard, being so narrow. Having been ran off that while plowing snow, I proposed that we widen it a little bit on this side.
Your ideas, are they on this map, or those were in addition to this map?
Yeah, they're on there.
They're on there, okay.
Yeah, everything should be in there.
Pages
Yeah.
that
So
have
this is
that lighting.
2026,
Yeah,
not Crossroads.
correct.
Correct. We did not get the grant for 2026.
But you have the 2027 working map as well.
Yeah.
If I could get those, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can email them to you.
So, if you pulverize that, and you guys' assessment, that it'll be able to get enough space
Yeah, it'll.
sufficient for the amount of traffic that this area gets.
I'd love to put it all out.
It'll be a lot better.
Correct, but that's very expensive to do. This is a pretty good alternative.
So given the fact that we recently ran sewer through there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What is the pulverizing process and what is the risk?
Since it's about 2 inches of aggregate, it'll get, pulverized up, relayed and compacted, and then basically formed like an aggregate. And it was, you know, ultimately 2.5 to 3 inches of compacted aggregate. This is light, but, and then we would pave 2 inches of that point.
So this all happens inside of the machine? When you say pulverize to me, I think
Yeah.
it's going across and impacting the ground.
No, it gets,
Grinding?
yeah, grinding, they grind it up and they put it back down. Like milling, if you've seen a parking lot that has milling, it's ground up in milling, and then it's just one machine that lays the milling behind it as it goes. And those would get graded and rolled.
You know, worried about the physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, structurally, I mean, it's, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
And we don't have any plans to chop it up again. It seems like every time we do a road, within 6 months, we're doing road cuts and putting utilities.
Generally, that's somebody decides they want a sprinkler system, and our water main's in the middle of the road.
So, or, the fiber companies have been tremendously bad since just before I started. We paved the road and they decided they're gonna run fiber.
Right.
NIPSCO, another one,
Coordinate with those guys?
that we can't control that.
This is my email.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't control it. Urban Oaks Building, another example. They're gonna cut into my brand new Boston Street to tap onto the 8-inch water main. So, but I have assurances that the repair will be immaculate.
Get that right, there's no such
Yeah.
thing.
It's in our ordinance, so it is, they don't get their road cut money back until it's done. But the other utilities generally, we've never had an ordinance to regulate other utilities. That was, we had just started to explore that late winter, maybe?
I guess real quick, think about this, and just piggybacking on what Larry said, I mean, you have school systems, transportation, how we run that road. We've got significant bus traffic, I mean, are we running the calculations on what that road does to that road? I mean, I don't want, I don't know what our options are financially, but need to do something that we're gonna have to redo, cost more to redo things than it does to do it right the first time a lot of times.
It lasted quite a while, with no preparation whatsoever. And pulverizing that asphalt and compacting it down there will be just light years ahead of what we had before. So I see many years out of that road after we do that. So,
What are our plans from a sidewalk perspective?
we don't have the right of way to do that. We had looked into that, extending the sidewalks down to the ballpark. Right now we've delayed that, pending, better right of way investigation and possibly acquisition. The right of way down Kern Road is not very wide. I think that was you that.
Yeah, we assessed that and we don't have enough width. There's also a lot of, obstacles as far as tree removal, utilities in the way. Not a big deal, but those have to be moved. And then we've got some grade issues where it just kind of, people's property, color comes straight down to the road, so putting a sidewalk there would require retaining walls or, yeah, there wasn't room on that side. Continually, if we wanted to sort of cross over, if you want to do that, that would be the only way to fit it within the right of way. And you want to have a couple feet out there, on the road for safety.
Being in town, does that have to be curved?
No, it's not.
I just feel like there's gonna be more and more traffic in that area over time. Good to have a see as much as possible.
I don't think it's a dead issue, I think
No.
we're able to get into this project right now, yeah.
The preliminary investigation and design of it, identified the right of way issues and that we'll face. And may have to purchase additional right of way.
I would think the residents might be pretty in favor of it.
I love sidewalks. Love to put in new sidewalks.
Sometimes you can get the property owners to dedicate their, and some of their property in favor of the sidewalk.
Next, all the concerns that you have about lack of right of way and no distance control, that much more safe for them.
Exactly. So, this is a process. We did look at trying to squeeze it in real quick to this project.
Sure.
We need to get this out to bid soon, and given that it's already May, so,
Is there a projected start?
So the task order, we've gone ahead and we've pretty much designed the project ahead of having a task order. So the design's done. We'll go, we'll get a contract, together real quickly after this meeting and go out to bid, and when Mark will coordinate a bid date, but it'll probably be next month. you'll be able to get done this summer, early fall, early.
So we need a motion for task order
Yes,
2026-04.
correct.
Consisting of 4 pages.
It's a little more, but it's kind of detailed stroke at the end. The breakdown is, $17,000 for the design, and the, bidding assistance is also a lump sum, $9,000, and then we included, $14,000 hourly, not to exceed construction engineering assistance if it's needed.
Say that again, to make that a motion.
Sure, it's, 3 phases of work. The design phase is a lump sum, $17,000. The bidding assistance is a lump sum, $9,000. And construction engineering is a, hourly not to exceed $14,000, for a total of $40,000.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion for what Robin said, and a second, and we're up to $40,000 for that. All in favor?
Alright.
Thank you.
I'll email you.
I wish we had more money, we could just tear it up.
Yeah. Commonwealth.
We're ready for department reports. Anybody? David?
First, any questions on my report? Okay, the only thing I have to discuss, I sent you an email a couple weeks ago, I think. Last month you accepted the, municipal pier from the chamber. The sign, that was attached to it is past its useful life. I sent you some options that Brent had selected prior to us accepting it, and, kind of wanted to get your opinion on whether you like either of them. That's one. I apologize that it's rotated, I can figure this out. But that's one, and then the other one basically is what we already have, which is that one.
The first one was what you originally had.
Yeah.
I think I responded.
Yeah,
I think
you
we
did.
did.
Yeah, I disagree.
I think the one with the chamber on.
There's the one.
You want our message?
No.
That's the other one.
That was nice. You guys have any thoughts?
I like that one.
I have no opinion.
I like this one.
I'm not gonna debate.
Everybody likes that one? Okay.
No opinion.
Oh, I mean, color's optional, I do it as an Brent.
Yes.
Rebecca's choice, I'll vote on it. I would accept that design right there.
Second. In what color?
Try to match the town colors.
Yeah, we've got a color guide.
We have a motion for the one that's up on the screen, and a second, and we try and match town.
Yeah.
All in favor? We have town colors.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Hi, Jim.
Hello, how are you? So, do you have any questions over my report? No questions?
Sound like it.
All right, just getting in, going forth. Memorial Day Parade will start at 1:30 p.m. on Monday. We do have a new officer. He will be starting on June the 15th. Will be his first day. We have a reserve, Dustin Heinen. He'll be graduating Kosciuszko County Reserve Academy on Thursday night. And both, new patrol vehicles are in service and on the road. We're just waiting for graphics to get finished to get them marked. On top of that, last month I brought up about using the restricted opioid settlement funds for DARE. In your downloads, I did put the numbers behind it. As of right now, as of this year, working with Virginia, we came up with a cost of $3,615.43 a year. You requested, I guess, the numbers around, and that's the numbers for now. And that covers both Syracuse and Milford. So, yes, I would ask for approval for those funds to be diverted for that use. They're appropriated.
We have a motion to, the cost is $3,615.42. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Yeah, okay.
Okay, and lastly, the golf cart we used during the summer months, it's 1994, 32 years old. The suspension and some things are starting to go on it. So in your downloads, you'll find, I did price out a UTV to replace that. That could be used year round and get a lot more use out of it than just the golf cart, especially during 4th of July when we patrol the back streets due to heavy traffic, parking issues, but also we could use it for a lot of other purposes, going off-road when we're searching for subjects in fields and things like that. We can get there, hook up a lot quicker versus driving our full-size vehicles through there, parades, so forth, all those things it could be used for. It would also could be used in the winter months, which we, obviously golf cart is not suited for that, but this would be. I did get a pricing on a last year's model with a rebate and a trade-in value on the golf cart of $2,500. And that price came out to a total of $15,627.86. And I don't know if you price them, but that's a pretty good deal they're giving us. So I would ask permission to, or if there's any discussion, to go ahead and get approval for that purchase. We do have the funds.
Do they have it in stock?
I'm sorry?
Do they have it in stock?
Yes. Yes.
It'll be delivered in 2 weeks or something, or?
Right. This week, next week. It's ready to go. Again, it's last year's small, that's why we're getting
We all get around.
pretty good deal. Of course. And obviously it'd be open to other town departments if they need to utilize it as well.
So it's outfitted the way that you want it for the use that you're intending?
For the price, it does include the doors, it includes the roof, and all that, but obviously going into winter, we could add to it, but the cost isn't that high to add, door windows. What's that?
Under 15,000.
Yeah, it'd be well under 15,000 to do anything else to it. But obviously we could do that slowly as we go. This would be the largest expense outright.
Well, I'll make the motion we're allowed to purchase this.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Segway, $15,627.86.
To be delivered within 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. To Loose Moose Motorsports. I
All
don't
in
know if
favor?
Virginia needs that. All right, thank you. That's all I have.
You know, if it would have been $627 less.
Next is Parks Department.
First thing, tree board wise, Cindy came out to Arbor Day. We moved it to the following Wednesday because of potential rain. She came and attended for a little while. The other thing on that is, a couple months ago, so we hadn't heard about our growth award for 2025. We actually got the notification yesterday in the mail that we had received that for the 2025 season. So I just thought I'd bring that up now. So, two things park-wise coming up next month. The Farmers and Artisan Market started last Saturday. We are up in terms of both seasonal vendors and just regular weekly vendors, or at least interest this year. We'll see how that continues based on shoppers, but it was a more interesting, or more people seem to be interested in participating this year. So. And then finally, 20th of June is the Mudtastic Classic. That's the mud run we run outside the ACF property. So we are looking for people to participate in that. We spend a couple weeks building all those obstacles and then getting them done. So, those are the two big things coming up, other than getting ready for the rest of the summer and mowing a whole lot of grass currently. Questions for me?
And could you repeat again what you said at the beginning after the Arbor Day? If you give the awards.
We got the we did get the Tree City USA Award notification in March, and at that point we didn't get anything about our growth award. Usually comes at the same time, but we did get the notification. I got an email yesterday that we did receive that for 2025. So, yeah.
So Chad, I thought I had read or heard somewhere where the huge problem that they're having for the skate park, that identified one individual that was involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down here it says that there was a little bit more.
We didn't, the second one we don't know. He's the individual who came and he painted over all of it was done. That was his punishment for doing that. A little bit after that, we did find some creative, use. We painted everything over black and used black spray paint to go over it, so you really couldn't see it unless you're right next to it. We have painted over that again. We haven't found anything new.
So what's the plan going forward to?
It's just going to be it's just going to be a continuous monitoring situation. Essentially, we're just going to have to keep watching it. I know we're supposed to meet with some people looking at some security systems, and one of them that was here last year said they could put one on the building that would see out that far. I don't know if that is going to be great, if that's going to be far enough away, but we don't have power. We don't really have a full. Jim's guys are out there looking at it, and there's just not a good spot to even remember without having to run stuff to do it all. So, it's probably 150 feet.
I was wondering if you just trail camera.
And we've talked about it. So.
We've tried that before, and they've come up missing.
Another one to find out the other one.
Ride them all the way back.
But lots of those trail cameras on level 3 cellular, and then it reports to the cloud, so even if they steal it, you don't have.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah. Okay, bring it in and we'll use it.
It's in my yard in Michigan.
But, I mean, since it was repainted a week and a half ago after there's been no additional things, and the young man who admitted it has actually said he'd be more than willing to come in and report if there's a problem and help clean up whatever's there. So, he's taken some ownership of the situation. Cool. Thanks.
Any questions on my report?
Common most of that.
So the play sewer line, you got 2,500 feet. Are you looking at doing the same coating that we did with the line?
Exactly. Yeah.
No. Now, is that coating, is the rating of it over time any different depending on when you get substrate, you like exostrate that is around it, or does that not matter?
It matters to a small extent, of course.
Okay.
But they coat it with an epoxy that is heat cured, so it bonds with everything that's clean. So and they do a tremendous steam cleaning job on all those lines, so it bonds to plastic, concrete pipe, clay pipe. Pretty universal, and it's extremely hard. You can pound that with a hammer and you're not gonna break it.
So has that process been satisfy some of the requirements from IDEM for our service line replacement?
Absolutely. Well, not the service line, that's water. But from getting influent infiltration out of the system, it's tremendous for that. Yeah. Because this map here, with all the clay lines, 20 plus miles of clay lines, that's 2-foot section. And every joint, every 2 feet is subject to leakage, tree roots, that kind of thing. This does away with that completely. Tremendous product. I've used it for many, many years.
Well,
That is.
okay.
Thank you.
And Quinn's not here, we have Nick.
Yes. Good evening. Any questions from the chief's report that I can take back and maybe get answered?
It's also getting close to 8:30, so it's good to be at the end.
Okay. All right. Better painless.
Virginia? Okay.
All the things I was ready to discuss, we discussed as they came up in the meeting.
Number 16, public comment from the floor on non-agenda items, 2 minutes per speaker, 10 minutes. Discussion from the council. Do you have any old business?
No.
No. New business?
I just have a comment. Based on the super mileage team at the high school, is just, quite frankly, it's a world-class program. I don't know if somehow we can either do it on our own or work with the school system to put signs. You can go through some communities and they're like, oh, I've got an Olympian or I've got whatever. And these kids have performed against universities and beat them repeatedly for better part of going on 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
I just would like to find a way to better recognize the effort and make sure that people that are passing through our town know, because I feel like it's flown quite under the radar. And I think it's time to celebrate.
We just talked about this, at the beautification committee, and Brent was there, and David and I was there. One of the, well, we talked about putting signs, but we didn't come to any conclusion, but one of the things I was gonna call Jeff Walmer, we talked about whether they wanted to put, if we, you know how we have the veterans flags and different things here, we went on up towards the high school, where we could put some information on those whole flags designed by the high school or whatever. I just didn't want to bother with them all right now, when he has, not the summer off, but you know, a real board, free time to talk. But we were talking about the same thing. David, was that the end of that conversation with me talking to Jeff?
Correct, yes.
Well, then we also talked about,
Yeah.
then we also talked about maybe
Oh, yeah, Virginia.
a bulletin by our street sign, by the industrial park.
Oh, yeah.
Put like a big bulletin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, we talked about it, but how might we?
Yeah, there's different ideas. I think it'd be good.
If you have ideas, then you can send them to me.
I'll do some looking and seeing what's out in the world. Like I said,
It is amazing.
yeah,
Well, fantastic.
you got a lot of people that go through this community that would have no idea maybe otherwise, and if they knew, maybe they would get involved. I mean, it's something that, you don't have a huge budget, and the performance that they're able to give with a little budget, what would the impact be if they could get some donors or, some industries that could benefit from the pipeline of, education that these kids are getting, and have a reciprocal, type of arrangement. I mean, I think we really need to try and find ways to make the connections and help.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree. Probably multiple of us have.
Yeah, we're just talking about it.
But I'll look and see. I mean, I know there's one in Kennewill. They've got one recognizing, I think, an Olympian, and Brad Miller, who played in the NBA. What do we, like, you just take that stuff in the right away, you know, got any special permission to do it? Or what?
Yeah, they're permitted.
Sounds like Mark feels a lot like that.
There's permission, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see if I can find some cases.
That's great.
The only thing I was gonna mention, I don't know that we don't have to decide tonight, I don't think we're planning a motion. I was thinking it might be helpful if we had emails that were similar to, like David's, that was the town,
The document.
yeah, the town of, that we could use that email just for, so then we're not sorting through.
Not for an email, find the town email.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. Cause I often struggle to find it.
And also, if you would do that, makes it easier to comply with Freedom of Information Act requests. Because you don't have anybody accessing your private email, because you're never using your private email for that purpose.
So do we just say we would like?
Figure it out with David, yeah, I can require it.
That's not a big deal.
Something we'd be interested in?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially with what Jason.
Thank you. Any other new business? We have an adjournment?
Motion. Second.
We have a motion, second for adjournment. We're done. Thank you.